Every morning, as a part of my morning routine, I like to read something inspirational, something that's going to help me be positive and set the tone for my emotions, my mood for the day. And I had a request from someone here in the community to share some ideas of some of the books that I have liked to read. So I've pulled from my bookshelf a number of the ones that I've really enjoyed and come back to time and time again. I've tried to pick out some different ones, and I like all of them for different reasons. So a few of them I will share with you, like a little short passage in them today, so you can kind of get a little bit of flavor for what they might be like. And these are all like really short little readings. Maybe some of these would be ones that you would like as well. And be sure too, I would love if you would also share in the comments if you have any similar morning readings that you like, any books that have like just some short inspirational passages in them. So we'll just go ahead and get started. I don't have these in any particular order here. I just pulled out a bunch of them and just thought I'd start sharing. So, okay, this first one is called Creating Affluence. It's by Deepak Chopra. The reason I really liked this one is, in particular, it has some great thoughts about your relationship with money. It has some really wise ways of looking at money. I think all of us have complicated relationships with money. I myself do as well. And I think it's really good to think positively with respect to money. And this has a lot of really good advice in it. The other thing I really like about it, there's on the flaps of it, it has something called the A to Z steps to a richer life. And there are all these little reminders about the things that are throughout the book. Then you can like really quickly go through and remind yourself of these things. It can be like a 5-minute process just to remind yourself of some of these money mentality, if you will, things to think about when you're really focused on, creating more wealth, creating more abundance in your life. So that's the first one. We've got here one called A Moment for Me. It is written by Catherine Poland Orzek. Hopefully I'm saying that right. It has 52 simple mindfulness practices to slow down, relieve stress, and nourish the spirit. This one I liked to use more on like reading one of the passages a week since it had 52 of them, but it had some really interesting suggestions in there that I really enjoyed. I have only been through this book once, but I really did like it. So I'm sure at some point in time, I will probably do it again. So like in the beginning, it has for each month, it has a different theme, if you will. So like January is new beginnings. It starts out with one called Intention and Attention. And it talks all about the two of those. I like how each of them have something at the end of them that will give some guidance on some suggestions on what you could do to help incorporate the teachings that they have in here. So for instance, this one here on the very first one says, be guided by your intention. Start your day by taking a mindful pause even before you get out of bed, and then repeat your intention. So whatever your intention for the day is. So this was like I said, this was good. It covers lots of different topics. April's got something called loss and birth. We have June, reaching out. November, gratitude and appreciative joy. A lot of good themes. All right. This one is by Thich Nhat Hanh. It's called True Love, a practice for awakening the heart. And I actually did pick out a little section to read to you here. I really enjoyed this book. Actually, someone that I met in my community had sent this to me as a gift, and I really did enjoy it. She had enjoyed it, and so she sent it to me. So that was really special. So I wanted to read a little passage here. This is in the chapter called Recognizing the Presence of the Other. To love is to recognize. To be loved is to be recognized by the other. If you love someone and you continue to ignore his or her presence, this is not true love. Perhaps your intention is not to ignore this person, but the way you act, look, and speak does not manifest the desire to recognize the presence of the other. When we are loved, we wish the other to recognize our presence. This is a very important practice. You must do whatever is necessary to be able to do this. Recognize the presence of the person you love several times each day. There were a lot of things that I hadn't really thought about in this book with respect to love. And so, in particular, I was using it to deepen my relationship with my husband from me personally. And I found it to be really insightful. And if you're wanting to deepen any relationship that you have, this might be a really good book for you. While we have Thich Nhat Hanh, here's another Thich Nhat Hanh one here. It's called Peace is Every Step. And this one actually has been one of my favorites. I have actually used this one several times. I like how each of the readings is maybe a page and a half. And he just has a lot of really great suggestions about how to approach your life and how to approach how you think about your life. It does have roots in mindfulness. Actually, it's called The Path of Mindfulness in Everyday Life, and it has a lot of really great suggestions for helping you to be more mindful every day. I found mindfulness to be such a great practice in increasing the level of joy in my own life, and perhaps that's why I've really liked this one so much. So it's often one that if someone's asking me for a recommendation for something like a morning reading, this is one of my first go-tos as a recommendation to people. Okay, then we have, for those of you that like poetry, Mary Oliver. I'll be honest, I haven't historically read a whole lot of poetry, but some of hers I've really liked. It's called Blue Horses, and it is poems. And I did pick out a short one here that I found entertaining and liked, and I hope you'll like it too. It's called What I Can Do. The television has two instruments that control it. I get confused. The washer asks me, do you want regular or delicate? Honestly, I just want clean. Everything is like that. I won't even mention cell phones. I can turn on the light of the lamp beside my chair where a book is waiting, but that's about it. Oh, yes, and I can strike a match and make fire. Mary Oliver has a lot of great poems. I do think that this is one that I will set on my little table to actually read some more of these. If you want some poetry, that's a good choice. Okay, we have the Daily Stoic. I've been through this twice. It's by Ryan Holiday and Stephen Hanselman. It has 366 meditations on wisdom, perseverance, and the art of living. And it's got some really good advice in there. And it's like very practical, I would say. It always starts with a quote by one of the people that would be considered Stoics. So for instance, I just opened to a page here. It's called Sweat the Small Stuff. And then the little saying here is, well-being is realized by small steps, but is truly no small thing, which is very true. That one is a quote from Zeno in the, oh goodness, I'm not going to say this right, I know, but I'll give it a try. Diogenes Laertius? I'm not sure. I know I'm not saying any of that right, but you get the picture here. And then it'll have like a short paragraph afterwards that kind of, often it will talk about taking this concept. It'll describe, what the Stoic might have thought about it, and then a lot of times it'll also give some thoughts on how you can translate this to everyday life as well. So that's a good one. And you got a whole year's worth there. Another one that you've got a whole year's worth that I really liked. I liked it so much. I did this one last year, and I actually am doing it again this year. This one was a gift from my aunt. It's called Daily Gratitude, Photos and Wisdom to Enrich Your Spirit. And it has 365 days of reflections on gratitude. So today's, as I'm reading this, is, our union is like this. You feel cold, so I reach for a blanket to cover our shivering feet. You ache with loneliness one night, so much you weep. And I say, here is a rope, tie it around me. I will be your companion for life. Hafez. This is in the chapter about love. It has themes for each month too. So the theme for the month of April is love. But it really does have like gorgeous photography through here. Let me see if I can flip it a little bit so you can see like some of the photography coming through here. It's like some of it's really unique, some of it's just like really beautiful. So I really enjoyed it. Like I said, that's why I'm doing it again this year as well. Okay. I also sometimes I like to read something inspirational in the morning, but then I also try to pick a book that I can learn some things from, to have some self-improvement of some type. I've never sat and read from cover to cover, but I've found there to be a lot of wisdom in it that I'm enjoying. And what I've done is just kind of picked out areas of the book that have most spoken to me. This one is called Balance Your Hormones, Balance Your Life. It's written by Dr. Claudia Welch, and it's on achieving optimal health and wellness through Ayurveda, Chinese medicine, and Western science. So it's a blend of them, and she does a really great job of talking about, well, here's what Eastern medicine would say and why, and here's what Western medicine would say, and then she gives really practical suggestions on what you can do, particularly from a hormonal perspective. So for any woman, I was going to say for any woman like 40 and up, but I would say, honestly, I really encourage women to start really paying attention to their hormonal health and the changes in their hormones over their life, at a very early age. You can start in your 20s. The more you can begin to understand how your hormones function as a woman, the more you are going to thrive physically. It's one of my personal regrets, is that I did not know more about this until I completely depleted my hormones. And now I wished that, I had known better how to take care of myself years ago, so I wouldn't have done that. But it's got a lot of really good advice. And this is one of the things where, I would read maybe a chapter, maybe a section, something like that, but just a little bit of daily knowledge. Okay, next one. I haven't read all the way through this one, but I keep picking it up from time to time because maybe the title appeals to me. It's called Creating a Charmed Life, Sensible Spiritual Secrets Every Busy Woman Should Know by Victoria Moran. So this one, it does have good little ratings, and it's one that, it'll be like maybe 2, 3, 4 pages. So each one of the little sections that she has writings about, it'll start with maybe a little quote or something. So one here as an example is age exquisitely. The ultimate the ultimate secret to aging exquisitely is to identify more with the part of yourself that doesn't grow older, the inner part, and less with the outer part that metamorphosizes through the ages and stages all of your life. She gives some really practical ideas too on things you can do just really to live a more charmed life, if you will. I think it's good. I don't know why I haven't read it from cover to cover. Looking at it now, I think that it might be one that I should leave out and give a try again. So another knowledge book that I thought was great, and this is the type of thing too, I'll just read a little bit of it, but you can see I have several places tabbed in here. I think because I wanted to go back and read them again, maybe share about them, that type of thing. This one is called Dopamine Nation by Anna Lembeck, and it says Finding Balance in the Age of Indulgence. I found this one to be very fascinating from a standpoint of how our brain works with respect to the things that we indulge ourselves in. And it helped me understand my own self better with my own things that I struggle with. For me, I acquired a real sweet tooth. It has helped me understand that better. It's also helped me understand. I have a number of relatives, people in my family, my close family, that have struggled with various type of drug addictions, alcohol addiction, that type of thing. It's helped me understand them better too, and the way what they have to work through. So if you're interested in learning about addictions, whether it's, like I said, drug or alcohol, or even your own addictions for things like, sweets or whatever it might be in your life. Here is another Thich Nhat Hanh one. This one is called The Blooming of a Lotus, Guided Meditation for Achieving the Miracle of Mindfulness. If I remember correctly, it's been a while since I looked at this one. This one is good if you would like to try some different types of meditations. Like one of my very favorite very easy meditations is one that's really early in here, and I'll read it to you because it's very quick. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Breathing in, I dwell in the present moment. Breathing out, I know it is a wonderful moment. And then to the side of him, he has calm, smile, present moment, wonderful moment. So it's ones that once you kind of memorize, like this calm, smile, present moment, wonderful moment, you can keep going through the meditation. Like you don't just do it once, but it's for as long as you like. It has some really cool meditations that I have found very useful. I have not worked my way through all of them, but I've done probably most of them in the book, and there's a lot of really good ones in there. So if you're looking to try something different in a meditation practice, or even if you're just getting started with meditation, I do think that this is a good book. Okay, next we have here one called Good Energy. This is an interesting one. It's written by Casey Means, and it says the surprising connection between metabolism and limitless health. I have been more and more interested in the gut and brain connection and doing better with how I eat to optimize my health. And if you are interested in practices of longevity and you really want to get down into the nuts and bolts of it, then this would be a good book for you. This really goes into a good bit of the science. I'll be honest, it was a little deep, a little overwhelming for me at sometimes with the scientific part of things. It does give you a lot of really practical advice for how to, in particular, eat better if you really want to heal your gut, increase your metabolism, or optimize your metabolism. And it gives it a very specific level. I mean, it'll talk about, for instance, I'm just opening up a page here. It says, what data can a continuous glucose monitor tell you? Morning glucose. After a poor night's sleep or late night dessert, morning glucose can be elevated. Ideally, morning glucose should be 70 to 85, I guess it's milligrams per, I do not know what that is, /DL. That's like where it's above my head, but that's okay. The level associated with a lower risk of future cardiometabolic disease. So you can tell it is going into like some specifics because it's giving you ideal markers. It does a lot of that, like the ideal markers. I tend not to get that specific in like what I look at for my health personally, but if that's of interest to you, this is a great book for that. The last one that I set aside here to share with you is actually probably the very first book that I used when I got started doing a morning reading. And it was one of the first books that caused me to start cultivating intentionally, I think, more beauty and joy in my life. It was just a delight to read. I've read it over a couple times. I have given it as a gift to numerous friends. It's a fun daily read. It's called Simple Abundance, a day book of comfort and joy. And it's written by Sarah Ban Breathnach. It's usually about like a page and a half or something for one of them. Like here's one, it says, in praise of modesty. Talks about style is to see beauty in modesty. Then it talks a little bit about modesty. Modesty isn't a very exciting virtue. A sparse or stark style can be sophisticated and dramatic, but modesty seems dull, too often confused with the girl dressed in muslin, sitting on the side of a gymnasium, who is never asked to dance. But the French designer André Putnam, who has reinterpreted everything from the hotel interiors to pencils, believes that unless you have a feeling for that secret knowledge that modest things can be more beautiful than anything expensive. Perhaps as a child, you were told not to toot your own horn, even when you accomplished something amazing. Or maybe you were told to stop dreaming of setting the world on fire. Have more modest aspirations, and then you won't be disappointed. Maybe when you try to express your authentic self, you hear an old voice berating you for being a show off. Yet at the same time, out of the corner of your eye, you could see it was the big gestures that got all the attention in life. Glamour, fame, wealth, the trinity of what's considered good taste worshipped by the world, or at least that's the way it looks from here. It's always the wealthy women who take on international best dress lists, the movie star mansions that are glorified in glossy layouts. And it goes on, talks a bit more about modesty, and I think it ends up putting a good light on it. I mean, she's saying here towards the end, find out what you love, whether it's a coat, a couch, or a career. Worry about the packaging and the tags later. And I think that's really good advice. Like, reach out to what feels good to you. She has a lot of great good advice and a lot of unique suggestions in this book for kind of like this other one, leading a charmed life. I really enjoyed this one very much. So that's what I picked out to share with you today. I hope that you have enjoyed it. Absolutely would love to hear if you have any similar books that you have really enjoyed yourself. Please share them in the comments so that myself and other people here that come to listen to this video can have new books to check out as well. So thank you for being here. Thank you to everyone that continues to share these videos. I really appreciate it. It helps me to get what I'm hoping is positive, helpful advice out to more people, and hoping to create more smiles, more happy lives. And I hope you have an amazing week. Bye now.